my speaking voice going, y'all. Um, yeah. I was kind of on the internet a little bit this morning, like checking in on some news and other things. Thinking about when am I going to do this reading? You know, it's going to come sometime, but you just don't always know when. And the time is right. Some people may say the time is tight. Alexa, play Time is Tight. Yeah, they got it. Sometimes you ask Alexa to play something, and they're like, I don't know that one, or, you know, we'll play something by this band. You know what I mean? Like they'll say the name of the band or something, but they won't do the actual song. But looks like it's like one of those old jukeboxes. It's taking a while to get it on. I have it on real low too, so. Alexa, volume 3. Yeah, Alexa, volume 6. I'm gonna turn it up so you guys can hear it. I know you know this one. It's an instrumental. Time is tight. If it's tight today, why is that? Because it's Friday and it's like, oh shit, what haven't we got done? I guess I got to turn in that report. My boss wants a meeting with me. Have we even ate lunch today? What time are we getting to lunch today? Don't be like my old coworker Mark, not getting to lunch till like 1:30 in the afternoon, and then he has to turn around and walk back in there about 2 o'clock, 2:15 on a Friday. Is there anything more depressing than walking back into work that late in the day when you should be goddamn leaving, taking off in the first place? Time is tight, y'all. What are you gonna do with it? Maybe I shouldn't even be doing this reading right now. Oh boy, but what fun would we have then? That's right. I do evening caffeine, not morning caffeine, so you know sometimes it takes a minute for me to get going. But today is All Souls Day, so I hope everybody had a happy time out there on their Halloween escapades. Hopefully nobody's house got toilet papered. You know, the old times, the good old times. I did promise y'all I was maybe going to use this deck. Why not? Has been a minute. You know, it's not necessarily reserved for special occasions, but some people like to think so. So, if your time is tied today, please stay tuned and we will get you your tarot reading prominently. You ever see those old Ziggy cartoons? It's like, yeah. Isn't Ziggy the one that's always stressed out all the time in the Nine of Swords? Ziggy and Kathy. They were always the like stressed out, la la la, and but then like Ziggy learns, like, here's the complaint department. Like I give a fuck. I think that's what Ziggy's kind of saying to us. He don't care. It's like, you can zig, you can zag. It's still Friday, y'all. Okay? Now, let's see what we got here for the collective today. Since the time is tight, I do have my train engineer hat on, all up Billy String style, but it is kind of like an engineer's hat. I like it very much. Thank you for allowing me to visit y'all on tour. Ace of Swords. The truth is out. The truth is out. Your time may be tight. You might be telling that to somebody right now. Like, look, I don't got a lot of time. What is it gonna be? You ever hear that song? Oh God, it's one of the longest songs I ever heard. Is that Meatloaf song? And then he's like, what's it gonna, and then they're like at the end, what's it gonna be, boy? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? And he's like, in the end of the world, I'd rather die than to sit here with you, blah, blah, all that stuff. Yeah, the truth may be out that something ain't working in a relationship and the time has run out. The clock has run out. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. If you are the one delivering that news today, good luck, right? Sometimes this happens around when they call cuffing season. Folks tend to break up before they have to start, you know, spending gift money and start taking people to folks' family's house. And you're like, oh, it was fun over the summer, y'all, but now it's time to get serious and you ain't part of that serious nature. And the Ace of Swords is a very serious indeed. Time is tight. Time is tight. I hope this one's instrumental too. Then I don't have to turn on. I might get demonetized for it, but you know what? Have you seen my subscriber count? So I do thank all of you who have ever liked a video, subscribed to the channel. I also like that there are some folks sending in their PayPal donations, helping keep the channel alive. Because you do know, if you are on YouTube and have done any research, it takes a lot of views to get paid. Okay. So for some of you, you may have been exploring how to get paid. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you got to go outside your house. You got to go take a class. You got to go to the accountants. You know, maybe you got to talk to the CPA. Whatever it is, you are putting things in motion to make sure you get paid. Thank you. And you know, traditionally, Friday is payday. So if you're on that kind of schedule, congratulations to you. You made it through another week until payday. What you gonna do with that money? What you gonna do with that time? You might be saying, hey, time's tight, money's tight. I'm saving for something. I'm saving for something. But maybe you are gonna, you know, treat yourself for a little fun. Maybe like on your way home. Two of Pentacles. Yes, you could be weighing this decision right now. Perhaps you are somebody who has a creative mind and you're not really sure how to monetize on your gifts. Okay, maybe you're out here like me busking for PayPal donations, likes, and subscriber counts, right? I'm a musician also, so I know how that works, right? Out in the real world of life. Good vibes don't always get you your next meal, does it? You need the cash in hand. And that's what some of you may be weighing over right now, whether or not these endeavors are worth the investment in your time. My advice to you, if it is helping you stay on your goals, and if it's helping you stay on your path, keep at it. Maybe it's just not something you're going to full time anymore. Like when I first started doing readings, you know, I could crank out 3, 4, 5, like I'm talking collective readings per day. And there are still some readers that do that. Those readers also have, you know, subscriber counts of 500,000 and more, and they are getting paid every goddamn day. Now, I don't know what Jerry Maguire that was when he was like, show me the money. Right? Okay. So again, focus on what's paying you. You know, if those hobbies, if those things that haven't been exactly paying you are giving you a little bit of peace of mind, that's okay. All right, but just don't put all your eggs in one basket like grandma used to say. Sometimes the advice is very simple, okay? I got some t-shirt designs coming out too, y'all. I'm going to get uploaded to the website very soon. That'll be also another money maker for this channel, since I am below the 1,000 required subscriber count, even required to monetize, and I have over 500 videos. Explain that one, YouTube. Explain it. I don't know. But if you're out there, please do subscribe, like the video. It helps continue the content. Now, who don't like to get paid? Thank you. God damn. 6 of Wands. And what are you going to get paid for? What you do. What you like. What lights you up. They're like, oh, look at her. And she thinks she's all big and bad riding in on that horse. Yeah, that's goddamn right. Because it's my fucking horse that I bought and paid for. And I brushed and I fed. And I got everything else in between. The papers and the pedigrees to prove it. All right. See, faith of a mustard seed. Y'all have been holding on. You may have been juggling. You may have felt juggled, but you are holding on, and it is bursting through your heart right now, just like that little red rose. Some people are going to be all seeing all this, and they're going to be like, whoa, what's happening to you? Blah, blah. And you're like, what are you talking about? I'm just holding on to my faith and my love of, you know, the natural world, knowing that I'm a part of it. Here, would you like to hang this bolt up for me? I got a show at 2:00. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Normal white guy was hidden by manifest wise. Well, he was talking about horse teats, and you know, this is not an animal husbandry channel. So, yeah. Anyway, Go where you're celebrated, bro. Normal white guy, just like the six of bolts here in this Grateful Dead deck. It's six of wands is the traditional. It's bolts here because we're like, you know, not Frankenstein bolts though, but like bolts of lightning. Coming through your heart straight like a goddamn fist. Stands with a fist. You ever hear that name in that Dances with Wolves movie? She's like, you think you're gonna bully me, Miss Big Old Ugly Woman with your ugly, ugly soul? Guess what? You was not. Because I'm standing here with my fist today. You ever see that when they go, oh, I got your nose. I got your nose. That's what they're looking at you like, what? It's because you move way too fast. You're like Robin Williams on this shit. You already have jumped to the next joke. There are 3 jokes behind. They are trying to figure it out. They are trying to catch up. They cannot. Happy Diwali to any of the Indian nation tuning in today. And it is All Souls Day as well, heavily celebrated in the Americas, the Latin Americas, that is. Yay, 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 yay. Right? 10 of Swords. Yeah, you're like, not reliving this. I just had to tell somebody today, they're like, hey, are you going to go down to this show, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that owner called me a cunt on Facebook, so there's that. Like, no. I mean, good luck to them from here on out, but they don't need my help because they already said what they thought of me. Understand what I'm saying? Let me count the ways it piles up and you ain't having it. That's what you might be speaking on right now, how you're not having it. Oh, I'd love to do that, but so-and-so. And people be like, oh, you're so negative. It's like, well, why do I have to be? I'm fighting fire with fire here, folks. Turnabout's fair play. You want somebody to come and give you free marketing? Well, you better kiss their ass every goddamn now and then, shouldn't ya? Alexa, volume 1, please. All right, now I don't have to yell over the radio. Now that we got away from the instrumentals. But you know what I'm saying? They're like, they see you coming, they're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then they'll be like, hey, remember when, yeah, I remember when you were an asshole. I remember when you stole my money. I remember when you beat me up. I remember when you said I didn't deserve this, even though I had already won it. And you're supposed to be my friend. Thanks a lot. Right? Okay. Yeah, you're holding on to what your heart desires here, collective, not some of these projections that you've already defeated. And right now, what is that song? Big old bag of damn bones. Okay, that's all it is. It's like that haunting that happened all through October. It's just some rattling old bones in there in that old haunted mansion, right? Who is it? It's Mr. Fernie who owes who to the federal government? Tax money? You know what I mean? It's all that bullshit again. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you got them in your local neighborhood too. We got real estate folks over here that don't exactly operate on the up and up, that like to beat up their wives, but you know, hey, they're still on the city council too. Not a chance, pal. Not a chance. Because some of us, what? Time is tight. We got other things to do. We live and die by the sword of truth. The pen is mightier than the sword. Have you ever heard that? Get out there and vote, folks. It's right around the corner. We don't need no goddamn reruns around here. This is what I'm talking about. This was coming through earlier about the freaking reruns. You are done explaining. You're done explaining ABCs, 1, 2, 3s to people that cannot tie their shoes or zip their own goddamn pants, for that matter. How many times have you told some drunk guy or gal that came out of the bathroom, the restroom, be like, hey man, your fly's down. Handle the basics first before you start coming over here and thinking that you understand anything, right? Okay. So again, you're like, oh, yeah, you see the ways? Okay, I don't have to count it for you no more. Good. Congratulations. You just progressed to kindergarten. Right? You know? Yeah. And away we go. How many? In the third eye, what do we have here for this beautiful collective today? On the All Souls Day, the living, breathing souls, not the dead, dying, decayed souls that have no life left in them. And that is why they've been after you. That high priestess type energy. Oh, yeah. They're like, well, they see something I don't see. I want some of that. You ever see that movie? And they open up the briefcase. She's like, what is it? What is it? That honey bunny bitch can't fucking comprehend what that is. Okay? Because she's low hanging with the dude that's holding up the diner. Okay? Those are not your people, collective, right? Ooh. And the pen is mightier than the sword because she's holding the Torah in her one hand there. She knows how to read. Okay? If you didn't know how to write, first learn how to read. Then you might know how to figure something out later about writing. You know, my father never had phonetics as a child. They didn't necessarily teach that until, when I came around way later in the education system. That doesn't mean he's an unintelligent person. He's a very voracious reader. And a lot of times we learn by what? Practicing and making mistakes, reading aloud. For some of you, you may be speaking aloud, doing some chanting, doing some meditation, doing some prayers to get this vision that you have for yourself in your life, right? So that you are being guided by this kind of single truth, right? That's ruling your life right now. Okay. All right. Un mas for the tarot, and then we may get into some other cards. We'll see what's going on here. So, yeah, definitely during the time of Diwali, celebrating, being grateful for things, being appreciative of things, right? Celebrating what you see within you, your spirit, and those around you. The Seven of Swords. People thinking they can tear you down, being like, yeah, well, you might have done this, but what about that? And you're like, take a number, sis. Line to complain to Ziggy starts way back there. In fact, why don't you get yourself your $2 and whatever it costs these days and go buy a goddamn paper, and then you can read the funny papers for yourself. Now, I don't have to sit here and explain it to you no more. Right? Every time this happens, collective, oh my God, it's like, I don't know, but some people thought that they were gonna like slow roll you or be like, oh, just wait, they'll come around. And in fact, you're like, actually, yes, I'm here. I'm seeing everything that's happening and I am out of here, right? Again, the travel card, this Three of Wands, you're seeking out information outside of this little world that maybe you thought was safe, right? And what you realized is that it was majorly holding you back. Right. Yeah. And all this kind of hidden knowledge, it's kind of like, it's almost like it's escaping just because you're so radiant in this moment here with this high priestess energy. It's like these secret, and people are looking at you like, what secret is she going to reveal next? When, quite possibly they probably could already know the answer, because it's like, well, what do you think happens when you steal from somebody? What do you think happens when you try and assault somebody? What do you think happens when you, okay? Okay. Right? Hydrate. Oh. Please do like or subscribe. It is the way the channel keeps going, unless you feel like monetizing your appreciation with the PayPal donation link, which is always there available for you 24/7. So anytime you're feeling the inspiration to donate to the channel monetarily, you may. Otherwise, the 100% free way to donate or support the channel is to like or subscribe. Click, click. It's so easy, just like my Calculus 3 professor used to say. You know, understand? It's so easy. Right? Okay. So, engagement, your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Yeah, truth be told, you may be moving on with somebody. You may have made a head over heart decision when it comes to this, in terms of what is actually good for you, right? Yes, you may show love, you may exude love. That does not mean your love is for everyone, right? So you may have been or in the process of sealing the deal with somebody special. Perhaps this could come over the holiday season. I don't know if that's popular in India for folks to get engaged during Diwali. Sometimes that happens in the US. Like folks will get engaged like during Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas are very popular times for engagements. Okay. So, especially if you are traveling somewhere and if you are on your path point, I feel like this is very, whoever's watching or whoever tunes into this message today, this is almost like in anticipation, okay? It's also like, you know, one of those times when it's like you bring them around all your other family, right? So it's like you actually get to meet each other and things like that. Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. You could be like, excuse me, ma'am, I do not have somebody I'm getting engaged to right now. Well, maybe you will if you flirt a little bit. Once you start celebrating all those things that people thought were gonna knock you down, they thought, well, let's talk about this and let's talk about, you're like, you ever hear about Tina Turner? She's like, I lived it. I don't want to go see the movie. I want to sing Hot Legs and Bitches back. And she did. God damn it. She got out to them goddamn hotels and she got on them goddamn tables and do. Who wasn't happy about it? But guess what? He ain't here no more, is he? She survived him a long time. Them hot legs were dancing all over America. They danced all the way across to Europe, where she ended up finding her true love. Her true love. So, you know, you think you'd be like, everybody else is getting their partners. I mean, get out there. There is somebody for you. Trust me. Even the bad ones that didn't treat you right, they still liked you too, didn't they? But it turned out they were full of poop. So, you know, you're like, well, guess what? I can poop too. Problem is, these people think their goddamn shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? They would never work a day in their life as a janitor or anything of that nature. Okay? They don't know how to clean up their own mess. All they know how to do is leave it at your front door. So they're coming to you with an apology, but they're trying to be like, okay, and now you fix it for me. And you're like, no, that's not how this works. You need to go and get your own counseling, get your own help. Okay? Read a fucking book. Do you even know how to read? Start with the newspaper. Even on the internet, they got these things called articles. Maybe you can string a few words together and make an article of your own out of a few sentences. You don't even need that goddamn AI to do it. That's right. It's reading rainbow time up in here, bitch. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Maybe you're able to enjoy it because you know how to read the freaking signs. You ever use GPS to get somewhere? Sometimes it ain't right. You got to tilt your head up every now and then. Even look at the road. You just gonna trust these vehicles to get you where you need? Come on now. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's nice to let something else do. Years. Okay, here's a good one. A lot of people may relate to this as well. There's an episode on The Simpsons. This was probably 15 years ago or something. Episode of The Simpsons where Marge gets this new house and everything's automated, right? And it's like she doesn't have anything to do. It's like it makes the food for her, it like washes, like in like she's a housewife and that's like her role, in their partnership. It's like Marge decided, she didn't like what was going on there. She knew better how to take care of her family, and she said, "Look, we're not staying in this house. I want my old house back where I can be Marge Simpson again, and we can live kind of a happy life." All right? Just because Elon don't like to drive don't mean the rest of us share that vision or experience. The rest of us are not trying to make forecourt. Have you seen these people in these goddamn Teslas? They're prepping dinner in this shit. Lord knows the porn industry's already made some money on that. People doing God knows what things on the interstates. You know what I'm saying? We already got teenagers trying that every goddamn day. Now we got professionals in fucking Teslas. Exactly. Fucking Teslas. I mean, what happens when one of those things runs into somebody? Oh, I'm sorry, we were too busy boning in the back seat to pay attention to the road. Get a grip, people. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Yeah, I feel like some of this is just like, oh my God. All the sex dolls, all the whatever, all the. Oh, I gotta go all the way over here to this war-torn country 5,000 miles away and spend a $10,000 ticket to find some poor bastard that's going to love me. Really? Really? Who has you believing this shit? Because let me tell you, that Andrew Tate dude, last I heard, him and his brother were not getting extradited from Hungary like they wanted on these charges. I'm just saying. It's never too late to wake up. Maybe your ancestors are the ones waking your ass up right now. Because, oh yeah, that grass is always greener on the other side, ain't it? Kind of like the dude that wanted to get up in front of the church and stand at a podium or a pulpit, assign a place of respect with a fucking backwards cap on, complaining about abortion pills. Are you fucking kidding me? If your hat's on backwards, that says to me you're not grown up enough to even consider sexual activity. If your hat ain't gonna be on right, at least take it off in a fucking church. Yeah, I was raised Catholic. Maybe some nun needed to beat the hell out of you too. Just with her eyeballs. Forgiving and learning. I like that one too. I gotta ask Alexa, who does this one?
This one is by Paul McCartney.
I don't think it's by Paul McCartney. I think it's Dave Brubeck myself. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Yeah. Somebody's like, yeah, you want to go to such and such place? And I'm like thinking, well, I mean, I could, but that's the place where, they don't like me. So why do I need to go there? I don't. Some of that is forgiving yourself for looking at those places where that what is that song? Done love in a sun down. It's one of those dance tunes. Oh my God. All right. let's move on. Let's move on. Let's clarify with the Spirit Halloween deck. They are still open today, you guys. This is where I got the deck last year. I got it 50% off, and this is one of the deluxe ones. Okay, there's a regular one as well. So if you are into tarot and want to check out, you know, something like that, get over there today. You'll probably get some snazzy 50% off stuff, okay? And, you know, planning your costume for next year, right? I kind of went this year, I did like a Mad Max theme. Oh my word, what do we have now? I think the mail already came today. Jesus. Now you know why I have to be loud sometimes. Ooh. Let's keep going. Two of Swords. Yeah, whoever this is that may have ghosted you in the past, you're like, I'm a straight shooter now. I don't have time for this. The Star. Yeah. You are definitely improving yourself. You could be taking classes right now. You could be, I don't know, just any kind of like self-improvement thing, like, you know, spending more time doing yoga, or, you know, maybe you're meditating more, and maybe you're doing it like away from the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, you could be going to a park. You could be going, like, maybe on Wednesdays, there's a group that twirls batons out on the riverfront or whatever. You know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You're getting out there and you're doing this for yourself. And it's creating a world of magic around you, okay? And that's, again, why you're kind of shining. That's why people are intrigued. Judgment. Yeah, you may have definitely given this situation some judgment. And not only that, it's kind of like the Most High source, the universe, is the one whose judgment is also around you, protecting you and guiding you at this time, okay, with the power of the three-headed dog. All right. So, you know, it's like if somebody comes after you and is like, well, what do you mean? You can't go. Actually, yes, I can, because it's my money. I'm booking the goddamn ticket. It's already done. No more for you. Right? Like, who are these people thinking they have judgment over where you get, what you get to do and where you get to go and any of that? Have they completed steps A, B, or C of being you, period? Of course not. Because we are all individuals living in this society together, right? Yes, we may have some rules of guidance, but that does not mean that other people get to rule over you. Especially those of us that live in a freaking democracy. Have you heard of it? The Lover's card, succubus energy. Again. Oh, boy. So it looks good on paper, right? And then they come clinging towards you and be like, oh, you got all this prestige and money and glory and power, and I just want to be around you. I went out one time with this cat. We went into this bar, and they started waving this money around at the bartenders. I was so embarrassed. I mean, number one, they had the loudest goddamn coat on. They looked like a freaking pimp or something. It's like as if not everybody saw you walk in with that outrageous jacket to begin with, and now you're going to wave your money around in the bartender's face. You know what I mean? Like you're somebody important. It's like I was just turned off by the whole thing myself. Anyway, some people like to cause a little scene. Oh, yeah, they're so into me. They did this and they did that. And it's like, yeah, but for what purpose? Just saying. A succubus will suck you dry, honey. In more ways than one, okay? Queen of Wands. Hot to trot. Yes. Many of you may be standing on singleness if you are not engaged at this time. Some of you that have gotten engaged at this time, you'll be like, yeah, read it and weep. Yeah, you didn't think I was nothing then, but guess what? Somebody else does want me. There was a song I wrote. It's called Different Man. Part of the lyrics are different man, don't mind me. Different man, don't care. Because trust me, a different man or a different woman, they ain't going to care about a lot of things that some of these other people say that they're caring about and want to use you for. Okay. And that's going to give you a new perspective, and it's going to open yourself up that you can flirt with others, that you can be that engaged person if you want to be engaged, if that's the kind of life you want to live. Okay. Also, people could be jealous of, your kind of fire, right? All these lessons, all this pain, all this suffering that people wanted to pile up on you, right? And it's like all these little tentacles have unraveled, and it's like, oh snap, we created a monster over here. I want to say a monster, but a Queen of Wands. And I'm sorry, that Queen of Wands is not going to say sorry, right? Sorry, not sorry. Just ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah, Ace of Cups. Especially ain't going to be sorry when you get that big old love offer, right? And the Queen of Wands is a very confident queen as well. She's like, next. You know what I mean? Like, next. 7 of Wands here. Yeah, and once it's found, it's like gonna be wrapped up. And then again, they're gonna be like, how they, what, who, and be like, you know what? I already finished the novel, but if you guys want to start in on season 2, I'm cool with that. Right? King of Swords. Yeah, where did we start this reading at? With the Ace of Swords. Very much straightforward communication. Very much, yeah, somebody says better not happen. But like, if you see that like your person is like flirting with someone, well, you're like, wait a second, no, that's not right. That you're supposed to be mine. And maybe that wasn't clear. Maybe it is now. Maybe you make it clear by letting that person flirt with whoever, right? And then they're like, oh, but wait, I was just out here flirting. You're like, yeah, I know. Go ahead. You're good at it. In fact, you're so good at it. Bye. Bye. Right? You're like, see ya. See you later. See you later, alligator. Right? And here you are, got it all wrapped up, your kitty cat, right? And you're like, oh my God, that feels so good just to relax now. For real though, for real. Okay, let's get some of this Lover's Oracle, and then I'm going to do the conversation deck last, okay? Which the conversation deck are cards that I made up, you guys, downloads that I got specifically to share with you, my collective. So, again, thank you for watching, tuning in. Do like or subscribe. It's okay to get fired up about your life. It's okay to get excited. It's okay to be exuberant, because guess what? Somebody else is going to be exuberant about what they think that you need to be doing for them, okay? What is this card? What's happened? La 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 la. I was hurt by you. That's what this person is saying. That's why they could have ghosted, right? Especially if they're coming around now. But I was hurt. Okay. Kind of like the lady that wanted to call me out on Facebook. Okay, I get it. You were hurt. So you called me a bad name on Facebook. That doesn't mean we're going to be best friends now. Go on, live your free life without me. Right? I don't want to be alone. Okay, so those of you that may have been where you were actually the one hurt, right, with this Ten of Swords, again, whatever. Hurt people, right? But you're like, but actually what I'm doing is I'm taking that pain and turning it into a mountain of friggin' pleasure, like the Queen of Wands does. And you're like, actually, I don't want to be in that isolation. I'm a people person. Like maybe you don't want to be around people all the time, but you're like, hey, I'm going to flirt. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with it. Right? What else do we have for this collective today? Ooh, ooh. Painful memories. Yeah. This whole rehashing the past, you're not doing it. You're just not. There could be some other people that like want to learn from you, want to grow from you, blah blah blah. Um, Maybe there'll be a book someday. You're like but in the meantime, collective, you're moving forward, you're staying optimistic here about your love life. You're like, yeah, um, I don't want to focus on the Ike and Tina Turner story. I want to focus on the Tina Turner comeback tale, right? So you're like, painful memories, you may have healed from that pain. Other people have not. And particularly if they were the perpetrators of that pain because they never dealt with their hurt, their brokenness. Okay? Okay. Moving on. Oh, yes, he is. Oh, yes, he is. It's a dedicated follower of Fashion by the Kinks, y'all. I can't help it. You are so different from everyone around me. Well, that happens sometimes. I can't make a decision. That Two of Pentacles, that could be weighing on somebody out there in the collective again. If it is causing you stress, step away from it. Even if it's something that you are passionate about, like, just take like a month off. The other day I had gig rehearsal for a gig that I have coming up. I don't play every day. I do try and exercise my voice though and my vocal cords so that those stay in shape. I could probably be better at rehearsing my instrument. However, that did not prevent me from playing my instrument. It did not prevent me from singing, right? Sometimes we say it's, that's where the expression comes from, like riding a bicycle. Okay. You might be having this happen to you currently, where it's like, oh God, I haven't made those cookies. And you're like, let me find the recipe. And you're like, actually, I kind of remember it. You know what I mean? And then, but do you want to do that every day? Do you want to make a business out of that? Not necessarily. Okay. Like all this side hustle stuff and whatever on the internet, that doesn't mean that you have to replicate it if you don't want to. Okay. Not everybody wants that kind of pressure. Not everybody wants that kind of spotlight. Could it be something you, investigate further? Sure. By expanding your horizons. You can do better than me, somebody out there. Yeah, especially if they ghosted you previously, right? You're like, well, good for them. You're like, I'm on a different frequency at the moment. You're like, I'm feeling my Queen of Wands. It's kind of like your villain era, but it's more like, it's not being a villainess. It's more like, the best revenge is living well. Okay. The Queen of Wands is not starving for attention nor a meal. No te preocupes. Yeah, don't worry. If you're worried about anything going into the weekend, especially like finances, especially if it is payday, again, stay on your priorities, not what other people think your priorities need to be, and you're not going to have any worries, right? Which reminds me, I need to give my dog her medicine since it's the first of the month. Play. This may be encouraging you to play as well, especially if you are not as worried about monetization efforts from a creative prospect. Especially this is coming in the solar plexus, which is kind of the seat of your creativity. So, maybe you're somebody that's like, look, I'm a writer and I'm having this horrible writer's block, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you need to go to one of those like paint classes in town and you'll be like, oh, I'm not really that kind of, I don't care. Just go do it. Do something for the experience of doing it. Go rock climbing, right? Where you can fall on those big pads. Okay. Go to one of those escape room things. If, cost is an issue, if you don't want to invest that, you know what I mean? If you're not able to do that, go to one of your local parks, right? And, you know, kind of experience what it was like before maybe your mind was consumed with, you know, adult responsibilities. Okay. Because the thing is, you're succeeding now, right? It's like, obviously, you're doing something right. This one flew out. I only want to make you happy. Baby. Na, 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 na. Never feel this way. Love you so much, I can't track of time. I lose track of the day. Out of my head, I'm going crazy. I don't have time for you right now. Yeah, whoever ghosted you, obviously they don't have time for you. And you saying the time is tight, you're like, anybody that did that to you in the past, you're like, no, no. Again, go to the end of the line where the Ziggy complaint line forms. Maybe you'll get through in time. I don't know. You know, the time you have for is for you, right? You yourself and the people that support you. And that might not be very many people. Why are you so selfish? Yeah, some of these people might be coming around and being like, look, I thought you said that your schedule is open right now, or you're single right now, or how come you're spending time doing this and that, you know, blah, blah, blah. Right? You get some of that blowback from some of these folks. But again, stay optimistic. Okay. Think positively and your faith. And what did I point out earlier? This Ankh here. Okay. Part of your faith, calling you to celebrate. Okay. What's in your heart? What's in your glory? What makes you you? Well, why can't you be more like your brother or your cousin? Because they have this going on and they have that going. Well, that's because I'm not them. But guess what? You're not raping and murdering anybody neither, are you? Right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people is like, you know, their expectations are interesting, okay? But you know, think about all the things that maybe, you know, if you're not living up to their expectations for some reason, you could be like, well, when's the last time I asked you for money? Never, right? Yeah, can they say the same for their other family members? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, giving a round of applause for the grown-up collective out there that knows that sometimes being selfish is the right thing to do, especially around selfish people that would have you looking like a bag of dead bones at the end of the day if they had their way about it. Isn't that right? Not wanting to put a dollar back into you, but definitely wanting to understand the mysteries of you. What do we used to say in church? Oh, and now for the mystery of faith. Right? And then the priest gets up there and recites whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of what they're like. They're like, how do you have all this faith in and your dreams and your blah, 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 blah. But you're like, I don't know, go figure it out. To the folks that have treated you like this, yeah. A lot of you collective, you've had to kind of reinvigorate your faith in a way that the wind's at your back. You have maybe even kind of made up your own type of faith in a way, especially if religious structures, if organized religions have let you down, if, you know, there's some dude going in there with a backwards cap, can't even take his goddamn hat off in church, and then he's going to get up there and talk about plan B contraception and how evil that is. It's like, sir, you're not even showing the first kind of respect in a house of the Lord to begin with. So, yeah, you might want to think about that before you start proselytizing onto other people. Let's keep going. I also noticed that this man was unmarried and he was going around talking about this, like, it's like, why doesn't he put his time into finding a wife or something? Anyway, mirror, who or what is triggering you? Maybe it's because the women see him come in there with that backwards hat on in that church and they're like, mm-mm-mm. Even one of my deadbeat boyfriends, he knew that, like, people know the difference between right or wrong. He's like, oh, my grandma so-and-so, they would have knocked us up on the head if we had come sat at the dinner table with a hat on their head. And that's just at the dinner table, not in a house of prayer. Just saying. Who or what is triggering you? You could be triggering yourself, holding yourself to a higher standard, saying, I might have gotten away from something. I may have been listening to, right? This, and this, thinking that was going to help me, but it didn't. And now you're waking up and you're like, okay, I'll just splash that cool water on my face and you know what? I feel better already. Thanks. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that's all you're going to do today, but it might help. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Yes. Shifting. So again, maybe you're somebody who has like a writer's block. Go take a dance class. Go with a friend. Go take a cooking class. You're going to interact with other people. Okay. You are going to be physically moving your body. That helps you release, tensions. Okay. And when you're dancing with life itself, like this, figure that's holding the rose, it's showing your appreciation. It's showing that you're like, I want to be a joy bringer to others as well. Okay. Because not only you found it for yourself, okay, but it's kind of like, yes, I do want that in my surroundings. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? Again, what is it here today? Swords. Swords are the theme. Okay. The truth of the matter. All right. The truth is maybe you're just a few steps ahead and you just didn't realize it. Okay. And some of you might be like, okay, well, I have this going on and this going on. Well, maybe I can do such and such. Like, monetizing something. Maybe it's just one of those things where somebody had to point out to you. It's like, you already have a lot of this groundwork. Okay. The crumbling. What are you clinging on to? Yeah, Scorpio season. It's like, it's like those fall leaves. If you reached out and grabbed a fall leaf and tried to like hold it tightly in your hand, what's going to happen? It's going to start to crumble literally and fall apart into a million pieces. It doesn't exist anymore. Right? So clinging to some old ideas, specifically what other people had about you, collective, I think is once you separate yourself from, maybe the memory of that, because you could be like, well, that person was my mentor, or that person was, I worked with them for such and such years. Well, but what they wanted for you, was it really answering your deepest calling, or was it answering something that they had a vision for? Okay. Some of the best teachers are the ones that can point something out and they encourage you to grow and expand and reach new levels. And then there's the that are jealous and overly critical. And it's because they realize they're being surpassed. Okay. Um, and that's their memory to figure out. Okay. So, I personally am, I'm someone who has looked up to people, but I haven't necessarily had an official mentor. Okay. And I think that has actually um, helped me along my journey because it's showed me also not to, necessarily idolize specific people, right? Not to try and put people on pedestals because we are all human, right? We all fall from grace. Sometimes, these swords can even be of our own making. That doesn't mean you have to revisit them or want to revisit them, right? Um, maybe something happened where, you were more the culprit, but yeah, that doesn't mean that all these other things were deserved, right? And that doesn't mean you're going to go and repeat even this thing, right? Someone says here, right, we all got to be our own biggest fan. Exactly. Right? You're the one looking at your future, whereas others can't see into your future. They can really only see, what you've already done. Even me as a reader, like unless I'm doing like a specific personal reading for somebody, like, looking into your future and, what the future holds, that's always, you know, open to interpretation as well, because we all have choices that we make along that path, right? We might kind of go this way a little bit more than this way, and sometimes that's just kind of how life is, like how a river cuts through. Okay. My prayers also with the folks over in Valencia, Spain. That just looked like some terrible, terrible flooding, and there's quite a high death toll. So my prayers over for that community. It looks like one of those historical flood events that, maybe they just weren't anticipating and aren't used to experiencing. Whereas some of us here in the States are more used to these seasonal storms like the hurricanes and stuff, but there are a lot of folks still rebuilding, and especially in the southeast. So hopefully all those folks safely get out, not and back not only to their homes but also safely can vote, as I will be using my mail-in ballot that I'm going to drop in the drop box, which came the other day. So got to get that done. And until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye. Alexa,